Have you ever wondered, what if everything you see around you is an illusion? Not in the sense that the world doesn't exist, but that the boundaries you draw between yourself and the world, between me and not me, are just tricks of your mind. 800 years ago, a Muslim mystic from Andalusia came up with an idea that shook the foundations of religious thought. Some called him the greatest master, others a dangerous heretic. And modern neuroscience is starting to confirm he might have been right. Have you ever had those moments? When you look at your reflection and for an instant don't understand, who is that? Or when you sit in complete silence and suddenly ask yourself, who is thinking these thoughts right now? Most people brush off such moments. Nonsense, they say. I am me, the world is the world, it's all obvious. But what if they're wrong? What if the most obvious thing is the most false? 1165 AD, Murcia. A boy named Ibn Arabi is born. An ordinary Muslim family. Traditional education. No one suspects that this child will grow up to say something that theologians will debate for 8 centuries. At 30, something happens to Ibn Arabi. Maybe an enlightenment, maybe a mystical experience. But after this, he stops seeing the world as a collection of separate things. For him, reality becomes one seamless fabric, without seams, without boundaries. And he understands. What we call multiplicity is the greatest illusion in human history. Let's start with what every Muslim knows. The Quran says, He is the first and the last, the manifest and the hidden. 57:3. Millions of people have read these words, but Ibn Arabi did what few dared to do. He took them to their logical conclusion. If God is the first, what came before him? Nothing. If the last, what comes after? Nothing. If the manifest, what exists outside him? Nothing. If the hidden, what is concealed from him? Nothing. But wait, where are you then? Where am I? Where is this world that we see and touch? Ibn Arabi gave an answer that changed Sufism forever. Later it would be called the doctrine of Wahdat al-wujud, unity of being. Though he himself never used this term, scholars gave it this name after his death. The essence is simple and revolutionary. There exists only one true being, the divine. Everything else is not separate existence, but manifestations of this one being. Imagine an ocean, boundless. Now imagine waves on its surface. Each wave has its own form, height, movement, and they all seem separate, independent. But what is a wave? It's the same ocean that has taken a certain form. Remove the ocean, and the wave disappears instantly, because the wave doesn't exist separately from the ocean. We are those waves, and God's being is that ocean. Or another example, a sunbeam on your face. It's not a separate entity, it's the sun manifested in a specific place. Without the sun, there is no beam. In his Meccan Revelations, Ibn Arabi wrote, "Creation is like a mirror in which the divine contemplates its names and qualities. Each created being is a facet of this infinite mirror." Do you understand what this leads to? You're not just observing reality. You're the way the one observes itself. Through your eyes, the divine looks at the world. Through your consciousness, the infinite knows finite forms. But if this is so, why do we feel separated? Why don't we see this unity? Ibn Arabi gave a paradoxical answer. It's precisely the manifestation of the divine that creates the illusion of separation. The forms of the world simultaneously hide the one by showing multiplicity, and reveal the one through this multiplicity. Like an actor who got so into his role that he forgot he's an actor. Modern brain research shows something amazing. Harvard neurobiologist Sarah Lazar proved 8 weeks of meditative practice physically change brain structure. Areas responsible for the sense of separate self start working differently. Boundaries between inner and outer blur. People describe this as dissolving into infinity. And Ibn Arabi was talking about this 800 years ago. Not everyone accepted this. Critics shouted, "Heresy! He's making humans equal to God." The theologian Ibn Taymiyyah wrote entire treatises against his ideas, but Ibn Arabi patiently explained. He's not saying the servant equals the Lord. He's saying the servant's existence is from the Lord, like a reflection in a mirror. It's not the mirror itself, but without the mirror there's no reflection. In his Bezels of Wisdom, he clarified, the distinction between creator and creation is real at the level of forms and conditional at the level of being. Imagine a shadow theater. On the wall, hundreds of different figures, trees, people, animals, all different in form. But the light creating them is one. The figures are real as shadows and illusory as independent existences. What would change if you accepted this reality? First, existential anxiety would disappear. That anxiety that whispers, "I'm alone in a hostile universe." Because there is no other. There's the one, playing countless roles. Second, hatred would dissolve. How can you hate a part of yourself? How can you be hostile to a manifestation of the same being as you? Third, the fear of death would go away. The form dies, not the essence. The wave disappears, but the ocean remains. And you're not the wave. You're the ocean thinking it's a wave. Modern neuroscience confirms the sense of separate self is created by certain brain areas. In deep meditation, this activity decreases, and people experience what Ibn Arabi described: dissolution of boundaries, unity with all existence. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Don't control it, just observe. Who is breathing? Who observes the breath? Who is aware of the observer? In this silence between questions, you can touch what Ibn Arabi considered the main secret. The seeker and the sought were never separate. But remember, this isn't an intellectual concept. This is a living reality that needs to be experienced. Words can point the direction, but you must taste the truth yourself. The mystery you've been seeking your whole life was never distant. It was never even close. It was always you, under the mask of seeking, playing the role of the seeker, acting out the great drama of separation. So what do we have? 800 years ago, a man saw what modern science is only beginning to understand: unity hidden behind apparent separation. This video either seemed like a revelation to you or complete nonsense. Both reactions are normal. Such ideas aren't absorbed by the mind, they're experienced. If you felt resonance, hit like. If you want to explore mystical traditions deeper, subscribe. And honestly answer in the comments: are you ready to consider the possibility that the boundaries between you and the world are an illusion? Or is this too radical? Remember, understanding with the mind and experiencing with the heart are different things. Intellectual knowledge is only the first step. Your answer could be the beginning of someone's awakening. Truth, once spoken, continues to work through the centuries, and it's closer than you think.